to Mystic Mamas. I'm Shelly,
And I'm
and
Miriah. Welcome.
and tonight we are talking about little Nicky.
Oh, Little Nicky. Yes, the movie Little Nicky with Adam Sandler. We decided to keep going with like this religion, sort of this battle of good and evil, the spiritual war that we're kind of seeing that's going on in the world right now. And we even got Saturn and Venus conjuncting, got all the planets about to line up. And so this movie like kind of brings that about a lot of these stories, I think, that go along with like the astrology we got, right? Saturn, maybe Satan, we got Lucifer, which could be Venus, we got little Nicky,
You
and
got
so many
Hell
more
on
to
Earth
take
in New York
over.
City.
And what did you say?
Hell on Earth in New York City.
Hell on earth, right? We have the choice here on earth to bring either hell or heaven and the intermix. I love this movie, Little Nicky. It doesn't get as much praise as it should, but that's how you know it's good. I'm a I'm a cult comedy gal myself, so like this is a little hidden gem. And my friend little Nicky Walsh, a little dedicate to him because he actually died this last fall. He's my friend from Minnesota. We'd always call him little Nicky Walsh because he was the youngest of four boys in his family, and he will forever be little Nicky Walsh in my phone. And rest in peace, little Nicky. And so I love that there's a movie fabulously called that name. So this came out in 2000, right?
Yep.
So the last movie we just dissected, me and Shelly, was Dogma. And again, that is like this religion, spiritual war that came out 1999. So it's kind of like this similar era. Look in the background of Little Nicky. What do we got? Twin Towers.
Oh yeah.
They're still standing
Yeah.
in 2000, aren't they? Right next to the
Yep.
anarchy symbol.
I can't believe I never noticed that.
Yeah, baby, we got the Twin Towers right
It's even
there.
more appropriate that hell on Earth is in New York City, especially in 2000. That's freaking nuts.
Right? Isn't it? Ah, ah. Um, the little gems that you find too, like when you're like you think you've seen a movie enough times. Because I'm always look at the symbolism, but the more you know, the more you look back. Especially this when I saw the Twin Towers back there, I was like,
Yeah,
it's hard.
I like the older movies where it's like you go a few years without watching it, or 5 or 10 years or something like that, and you go revisit it. And even if you watched it a million times before, but enough time passes, and you just see a bunch of new stuff with fresh eyes, older eyes.
And at this point too, it was usually like real footage. And so many movies were set in the 80s and 90s in New York City because it was like this metropolitan mecca where everybody was flying to, going to, traveling to, want to be part of fashion, entertainment, and all the likes in between. But yeah, this is so we had Dogma last week, 99, Little Nicky, 2000, Twin Towers, right? So now like this the movies, like the programming and just like what the messages are is sort of like fall away from religion, and then also just letting us know there's like the spiritual war going on, and the little ring around little Nicky, right? It's a little Saturn ring to me, but all the things and about wow wow. If you always have to have like a dog star, there's always a dog.
Yeah,
There really
freaking
is.
dog.
There's always a dog in these good movies, or a cat, I
Yeah.
think. So I brought this up a little bit. The Santa Ana wins because if you look at the spelling of etymology, it's like basically well, it's called the devil wins, Satan wins, and Los it caught the west side of our country. of our continent on fire. It's still the city of Los Angeles, all of these beautiful places in Southern California just got burned to fucking shreds. The devil wins too, like definitely made sure it got nice and spread. Um, that's why people like to surf there. Otherwise, there's not always the best waves in SoCal. But when you get like the Santa Ana winds, you definitely get some. But yeah, I thought that was kind of appropriate because like we're talking about Santa, excuse me, Satan and the devil wins, and also the devil's in this movie, Little Nicky.
More than one.
Because
It's all in the family.
Satan is Little Nicky's father. Little Nicky is actually a punk rock goth kid. Maybe not even by choice. Maybe he'd rather be sort of like more of a flower child. But the metalhead rocker, he lives in hell because dad is Satan, and his dad Satan has the throne, which he wants to retire, and he has three sons, so he has to like give up his throne, give up his crown. But even like the devil horns, right? That's a crown in itself.
Well, whoever sits in the throne has the Satan title because his father, Harvey Keitel, his father is Rodney Dangerfield, and he built hell. So it's like it gets passed down like that. That title gets passed down. Yeah, he was in what was that? The Last Temptation of Christ. Harvey Keitel played Judas Iscariot.
So again, we have Judas, the evildoer, if you will, that would wear the horns, and that story of Christ. And it's all about like this the strive for the crown and who gets to sit on the throne. And really, in my studies with alchemical practices and what all these symbols I think really mean to is being your crown chakra, being the king of your own castle, sitting on the own crown in your own kingdom, wearing your own crown and being in charge, the devil, and the angel side of you. Like little Nicky. He's a punk rock kid living in hell. And really he is like the best out of the three boys to take over to sit on this throne, to take over the whole kingdom of hell. But really, like it's all metaphors for like your own, alchemical demeanor.
Well, Nicky didn't want the job,
Nobody wants the job
and
unless
he
like
didn't
you're
want his
already sitting
brothers
on the
either.
throne. You're already there. Yes. I mean, even so Harvey Keitel, he is in a lot of movies, not necessarily just Adam Sandler movies. Obviously, these are some really successful and creative and talented Jewish actors, producers, and they all like kind of either stick together in some movies sometimes, but like he's in a lot of either gangster movies or movies about like heaven and hell. Tarantino is in this movie, Little Nicky. So Harvey Keitel is also in Pulp Fiction. He's in Reservoir Dogs. He's in Red Dragon, which came out just a couple years after Little Nicky. He's in Be Cool. He's in Glorious Bastards. Another one that came in 2000 was U 571. That's one I haven't seen, and that's about World War II submarine. He's in Dust Till Dawn. And Shelly just saying The Last Temptation of Christ. I mean, also National Treasure, 2007. He hasn't been in a whole lot, and he's a
Yeah,
lot of
he's
games.
got quite a bit. He's got quite a bit under his belt. He was in Taxi Driver too.
Oh yes, these are badass movies. This is something you could watch. Like at
Oh God,
least my
yeah.
dad showed me these movies. They all know a lot about occult knowledge, and they are all tied in with some of the best actors and directors and producers and stories. Um,
It actually makes it even funnier, like his resume up until this movie. It makes it even funnier that he's like just randomly pops up as the devil in Little Nicky, fucking Sandler movie. Like who would have thought?
well,
And
and
I think he
Adam
was the perfect
Sandler.
choice.
Yeah, well, Adam Sandler is usually, he's all about the comedy. He has his crew. I would. Um, and the fact that he got a chance to play like the devil, he's like, by all means. I like the little D, like it's like a Detroit D, and they're always wearing track suits. That's one thing Adam Sandler likes, especially if it's gangster. If there's any sort of gangsterness or comfy wear, it's always like these Adidas or type of, tracksuits that you'd see on the East Coast, mobster style.
Or in Russia, in
Yes,
Eastern
yes.
Europe, the gangsters in Eastern Europe. They
And
all
so
wear
there's a lot of
tracksuits.
attention to detail. I love that. This is a good movie. I was reading some old reviews when this movie came out. A lot of people are like hating on it. I don't think they really understood it. I want to say maybe the first time I watched it, I was like probably off fucking stoned or something. And I was like, what? And then I watched it again, like, this is fucking great. But this is my type of humor. I enjoy I enjoy it. All of it. It's fabulous.
I've heard a lot of people talk shit about Little Nicky, but I think it's a very underrated movie.
Yeah, it's like Virgo. It's like just misunderstood. So um if you don't like it, you don't like it. To me, it's like just another cult comedy type of group. And there's so I mean you can watch it over and over and there's more to find. And Lucifer, we got Roger Dangerfield. Another great gem. In here we have Harvey Keitel in Lucifer's arms. One is, they work together. They work together.
Yep, and Rodney Dangerfield's Lucifer, he built Hell. Hell's his.
Masterpiece.
But he's retired.
Well, and it's not so much, they don't, yeah, they like to sit on like the throne forever, but eternity is a long time. Then they start getting bored, and it's sort of like the story of the Titans and the Olympians as well. These are um so Satan, his children, if we're looking at Saturn as being Satan, Saturn, Adrian and Cassius and little Nicky could be representing moons even of Satan. Um Otherwise Lucifer is usually associated with Venus, the morning star. There's which is interesting. I haven't watched either of these series, but there's a Lucifer and
I've seen it, yeah. I've
there's a
seen
couple of
the whole
them.
entire series. The show Lucifer is like I know it's based on a comic book, but it's like it's kind of like procedural and it's a little cheesy in parts, but it's very philosophical show. It's heavy on the philosophy as far as the definitions of good and evil and like the whole, you know, um battle of will and just the perception of Lucifer and his role in the world. It's such a good show.
Yeah, pretty good things. That'd be something good to tap into. And a lot of these writers, some of them, thankfully the ones I like, they know their occult knowledge, and that's where like the best stories come from. Um,
I've noticed most artists have some kind of occult knowledge, and I think a lot of artists really delve into it because it's gold mine. I keep on using that word, but it's you go into like the occult stuff and all the mythologies and just world religions, ancient and new, And there is so much material to use for movies, books, art, just everything you can think of, you know.
You can create a whole
People write,
other like parallel universe, which you've seen and it's based off of a lot of this, including like Lord of the Rings or any of this shit you want to look up. There's already a video game about it. There's already a video game. All the characters are all these archetypes, all these mythological gods, all these players, and all these stories that you see over and over and over, including Robin Hood, including Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, including Lynx, you know, on and on and on. You look up the archons. I started having dreams about like certain occult words years ago, and then I look it up. Video games, or a Disney movie, or a cartoon, or a rap album, or a like some princess pop singer, and her album is, you know, it's all tied in. There's no escaping it. So to really even like, if you want to research any a lot of this occult knowledge, you will be flooded with like pop culture that has taken over it. One, so that you can't find the information, but they're using that and keeping like the story going and going and going and going.
and
Good.
it's not that, and it's not even just, you know, people borrowing from what they know. It's all just very human stories. It's, it's a commonality of humanity throughout the eons, and it's just, you don't need to know stuff to like inherently know stuff.
Well, and then we come up to the other two brothers. So little Nicky, and his two brothers. One is Cassius and one's Adrian. Um, and Cassius to me instantly reminds me of like Othello. Um, you see like this three brothers or three sisters a lot, where like they're all like have strengths and weaknesses, I guess. Where one might be super intelligent, like Adrian, and witty, and then Cassius is more of like the muscle, the brute. And then we got little Nick, and he's the sweet one,
Yeah.
little punk rock, plays with flowers. And so you see that a lot in stories, especially with, like that they tell little kids, and it in a weird way it reminds me of kind of like Cinderella, not really, yeah, Cinderella, where you know the two evil step sisters, and she's pure hearted, and they just like want to walk all over and get the prince. So it's just like the boy version of it to me, but in a really awesome way. I mean,
Yeah.
down to all the costumes, all of it. Bravo to this movie, bravo. Not that we like have like that we're doing a review like because it came out in 25 years ago.
Oh man, do not do that math, please.
I can't
That
believe.
was so
um
cool.
Crazy, right? Crazy, crazy. And
I have a hard time believing it.
this one, it doesn't give you like the outdated version because of the style of it, I guess. So throughout the movie we have get in the flask, right? The whole movie. Little Nicky has a flask, and this is where you can capture and carry a spirit. And the bottle is fabulous. It's obviously like we got a snake, we got the flames, the devil himself, we got the pentagram. It's a If I ever give somebody a present, a flask, I want to get a replica of the little Nicky one. I think, oh, that's a great idea
Yeah, that'd be
for
awesome.
a gift.
So the thing about the flask, it goes into like magic. It's like um like spirit jars or like binding spells. You trap the soul in there, and you trap it and protect it, or you bind it, or you trap the soul for your own evil purposes. But but yeah, you can like trap. There's magic and different like like voodoo and just folk magic and just the older practices that you can just trap spirits in boxes and jars and flasks and not cool if you ask me, but it goes into all that like old folksy magic stuff.
Right. It's well, and deciphering and kind of depicting this whole talk about Solomon and Solomon's seal. He was known to be able to take the jinn spirits and capture them into a container. A really good book. I learned a lot about Solomon's seal is Pierre Sabak. I talk a lot about him. And the holographic culture. Kind of really talking about the jinn, Jinn, being the genies, the demons, and him being able to alchemize and capture the jinn in containers. Solomon's seal has a lot to do with chakras. Solomon's temple, that's in the Bible. So many stories, so many. He's very, very misunderstood, I think, what Solomon's seal is, Solomon's temple. And I think it has to do with like your own spirit. So the idea is like this genie in the bottle type of thing, like where you can, and this is using the 5 elements to my understanding, where you are being able to capture the plasma, right? The plasma. And whenever it's depicted, it's usually comes out. So to me, that's and then the genie usually solidifies, or at least appears to be more of an image. Maybe not. I mean, there's so many movies and shows and characters that are genies, and they're always kept using a lamp or a bottle, right? And then, so what we're looking at on the right is Solomon's seal, where we have sort of like the devil man. We have the circle, we have the square, we have the triangle, and then we also have the inverted triangle. And so the 2 inverted triangles, that is the tetrahedron, which is your heart center, where your heart chakra is, to create your whole electromagnetic toroidal field. And so being able to capture or seal or unleash that seal is by, to my understanding, alchemizing your chakras in order to open them and open up your heart chakra so that you're unable to unleash that demon, that genie that is kept in the container, which is a sealed up inverted of your elements. And so I think a lot of the world that tries to keep humans consciousness now is by trying to keep us from being able to elevate past that heart chakra, from us opening that up, or at least from opening up the throat chakra, so that we are in the lockjaw of these chakras instead of him being open and allowing the magic to happen within the correct sacred geometry. That's what I think that to me represents. And so this whole time they're using this flask as like that genie in the bottle. But that was like a long dissection of what I think the symbolism is. I know, what do you think, Shelly?
I mean, no, it makes sense. Well, even with the I'm gonna say the effects of them like being sucked in or being spit out or like crawling out, it looks like a genie in a bottle kind of thing too.
So one of my favorite genies, especially my generation, we loved Aladdin, Disney Aladdin, and I could the songs are just like even stuck in our head, right? With the genie, which is oh my gosh, the comedian that I'm just like drawing a
Oh,
blank.
Robin Williams.
Thank you, Robin Williams. I can see him. So Robin Williams is the voice of the genie, and he's a genie in the lamp, right? You rub the lamp, you gotta rub me the right way. Not the Christina Aguilera
Didn't
song.
that come out around that time too? That
Yes,
was
it
like
came
what,
out
99,
probably 99,
2000?
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, my brother got in trouble, and she
Right
came
after Britney Spears made it big.
well, about the same time. Yeah, slightly at the same time. So, here's a funny story just because of that song. Christina Aguilera came to North Dakota State Fair. Hey, I'm from like the country, and so all these kids are stoked. My brother, I think my younger brother got a ticket. I wasn't gonna fucking go. Um, I'm sure I was gonna go to something like metal, and my brother got in trouble, so he gave me a ticket, and she went on fucking like MTV and slammed us before she even went to North Dakota. She's like, "Oh, I gotta go to this hick town somewhere in like Minot, North Dakota." We're like, "What?" It was like,
Fuck
it
you too,
was like
bitch.
we never like before. Like you think we don't have TVs and MTV and satellite dishes now? It's
Apparently not.
1999. I remember being in high school. So my brother gave me this ticket, and I was like, I have a great idea. So I wrote a sign. Like Christina, you ever hear this? It's a lot of fun and love. But it said, "Hey, bitch from the Hicks." And I folded up, put it in my purse, and I was friends with all the football players. So I found one of my friends that was tall, and I stood on his shoulders. And I wasn't the only one there. And it was actually a hello, welcome sign, by the way. Some people went there to like throw fruit, like they were peasants, or spit on her or just boo her. And some people were there because like they were kids and they wanted to like go to a concert with the parents. And so I put up this like sign. I instantly got like pulled away down from security. So I'm getting like escorted out. And it's North Dakota. There's like, I don't know, a couple thousand people there. It's a small state. I walk by some of my relatives, like my cousin and his dad were there, seeing me like getting escorted out. And now looking back, for sure, these security guards did not care. They probably were smirking about my poster because they are also from North Dakota. And so they just like released me, and I went around and I went to the other side. I went back in the concert and probably went and got drunk. But anyway, long story of Christina Aguilera and
What a
her.
ridiculous reason to get kicked out of a concert.
I
Like,
even showed the poster to my friend's like mother. She's like, "That is so cool, Miriah. Like, you go, girl. Like, somebody had to do something, you know?"
it's funny. It's really funny.
So the whole thing too with like the genie in a bottle is that they're a slave. They can be summoned. They can be summoned like a demon can be. You can summon the archangels. You can really kind of summon any kind of spirit you'd like to, your higher self, your ancestors, really. But the idea is that you bring them out and they grant you wishes or they are a servant to you. So if you see the genie from Aladdin, he has gold rings on his wrist because he's a slave, like handcuffs. So we talk about tarot a lot because it's all connected. And on the devil card, which is the Baphomet, it's Capricorn, it's the devil, but it is the lovers that are now they have handcuffs or chains. They are chained. They chose to be chained to slavery instead of like the opposite of what love can be, being connected by love and gratitude. And so I thought that was interesting. So like no, that's why nobody wants to get in the fucking slit in the flask, because you can only then you are possessed. You are in a container that people can now do whatever they will with you. And when you come out, you are still in charge. They are still in charge of you.
And hell would be that containment too, when you think about it, because they don't want to go back to hell. They want to rule on earth. They want to cause chaos up on up on Earth with all the humans and not be in hell.
And so the whole idea of getting the flask is, um, I'm sure people watching, you have watched Little Nicky, otherwise you might be completely lost. But the whole idea is he's supposed to go to Earth. His two brothers are causing chaos because they want to be king of hell and take over their father's reign. And Little Nicky has to go capture them, and so this is the only way he can capture them and bring them back. Because like any prisoner, you have to contain them. Contain your own demon until you can release it in a safe space. That's kind of a metaphor for the own devil inside of you. The devil inside, the devil inside. And so this whole idea of Solomon's seal is the X, it's this hourglass. But if it's the other way, it flows or it stops. And that could be your life force, or that could be like cutting you into a container. And that I believe, as we're supposed to open up our chakra system, it is unlocking these seals, which are different geometric equation shapes. But that's also how you can change into different forms of the 5 different elements. I mean, so even like alcohol. I love and hate alcohol, don't we all? It's in my life, but I'm from the mountains. I'm from the country, cowgirl. I used to be a pirate. You're drinking a spirit. You're popping open a bottle. I'm drinking
Yeah,
alcohol. So you're drinking
I
down a
live
spirit.
I live most of my life in a college now where, everybody binge drinks, so I totally
It's
get that one.
promoted.
Yeah, yeah. It's more than promoted, it's encouraged.
Yes, and then there's like campus cops. They have their own squad just to
Mm-hmm.
draft kids.
Oh,
Give them.
the state college in my hometown, they more than have the cops. They're actually a training facility for, I think, state troopers. So
Exactly. So
that's fun.
there's something there. So like when there's a full moon, it's not necessarily always a good idea to like go and open these bottles and drink a bunch of spirits because you're not being yourself. And if sometimes if you are super low frequency or you're super drunk, these demons will take over your body. When you wake up in jail, like, what the fuck happened? Something happened. You got drunk and you were drinking so many spirits, these spirits took over. If you ever woke up, I woke up still drunk, mad. I'm ready to kill somebody because those spirits are still inside me that I drank. And I'd probably drank the spirits on maybe in a bad mood already and mixing it with my emotions, mixing with the full moon or something. So you got to be careful with alcohol. Like, that's why, yay, drink and cheer. Like, I'm not telling you not to drink alcohol by any means, but like, use it wisely
Yeah.
because you're drinking spirits, and so you can create like a cheerful environment with it. Or you could drink some actual demons, some real spirits that actually you will like not be. Your body has been taken over, and your body will go commit crimes that you have to pay for. I have had it happen to me a lot of times. That's why I don't drink whiskey. I actually don't drink a whole lot of spirit, especially on a full moon or by myself or in a bad mood. And like know what spirits you can play with. Like,
Oh, you know what? I have that scene, the subway scene.
yes. Oh, perfect.
Um, yeah, we should definitely watch that right now. So here is the. Wait, what's that? Wait, check which one is the subway scene.
So from Little Nicky in the subway,
Oh, here we go. Yep.
it's kind of what we're talking about, the spirits taking over. So the two soul man. I'm a soul man. Do. Right? That has something to do with this Solomon seal. Because they're like the heart chakra on the right, the Solomon seal. Well, the soul where it's open, you have the tetrahedron, where you got the two pyramids, the two triangles of the elements coming together in the heart. And then on the left, this is also Solomon's seal, but it's more of the two triangles where they make an X, where it seals it. It's not open, right? When you see it the other way, you have the divine triangles inverted, making an open six-pointed star. And then on the left, that is Solomon's seal, where it's more of an hourglass. Like it can either seal in the sand above, below, or keep it slowly trickling. But the triangles are slightly different. It's different geometry. And so it makes like the X in here, it's actually sealed. So I've always like been fascinated with Solomon's seals with the geometry and when you can see it this way. And then on a lot of the Jolly Rogers, the pirate flags, there's a lot of hourglasses because that is that Solomon seal.
It's also as below, so as above, so below.
That's right.
Both of those seals right there are as above, so below.
Yeah.
You
So
can more see it in the right one.
Absolutely, because it's the inverted, but it has the white, the black. It even has the crusade cross, the real cross, where it is symmetrical, right? It's mirrored, whereas the Christian cross, it is not mirrored because it is not symmetrical. It is elongated, it is asymmetrical. And when you wrap it up, it's more of a cube.
I think that's the Iron Cross.
But when you wrap up that cross too, it's also a cube. It's just how you wrap it up. But one is slightly different. And when you look at even tarot, the cross with the hangman, Pisces, he's hanging upside down on the cross. He's making his own cross upside down. So it's all inverted. It's all about like these chakra systems. I think like the the sacred geometry within that alchemical machine that we call our chakra system. It's either open or it's sealed, and that's where you're going to see the cross or the X.
Apparently, the Iron Cross was German, but yeah, it's the same shape. It's the same cross. It's just a different name.
Yeah, it's Celtic. It's sacred. It's beyond time. What I like about this movie is, well, one, great soundtrack. Well, Nicky has like one of the best soundtracks, for sure. And all of the bands are either in it, they're wearing the t-shirts, the posters. Little Nicky's bedroom. At the beginning, he's playing his basically trident, right? He's got his trident poke like devil thing that he's playing air guitar with. And he's got all these posters in the background. So throughout the movie, there is beautiful death metal. Incubus isn't really death metal, but it's Incubus. I loved Incubus. Were you a fan of Incubus band?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was a huge
Oh my god,
Incubus fan.
it's so good. And I've actually seen Incubus a couple times. Once with my brother, once or twice with my brother. My brother Luke that died. But Incubus, Pantera, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Motorhead. Were there some other ones that you saw in there?
I can't remember. Oh, Chicago.
Oh yeah, Chicago, which is not really death metal, but when he plays it backwards, it's like the Beatles. We talked about the Beatles
Yeah.
on this podcast before. It's like, yeah, like the devil is talking to you.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, oopsies. Chicago's evil.
Right?
I
Here.
love that scene. I love that scene because he's like, yeah, like, why would we put subliminal messages in in something that was so overtly evil. No, let's like put it in something totally innocuous like Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. These bands, these death metal bands, are in your face. Like, hey, we're gonna like sing like Hail Satan shit, and the Beatles in Chicago. Yeah, that is more for like all the hipsters and the swingers and the good little like squares, right? And
Yeah.
like those are the ones playing backwards that are gonna have
Yeah.
the subliminal.
I mean, the
No.
people that are listening to metal and all these like satanic lyrics, I mean, they're already into it. But when you really want to get into like the average person's mind, you pick Chicago and the
What
Beatles.
if the what if
Probably a
Pantera
little David Bowie in there.
What if Pantera, the subliminal messages, or if you put um like rewind their vinyl.
It's probably all positive
It's
shit about
love and
God.
peace and Care Bears, right? So that's why everybody that like Slayer are like, like full of like black and tattoos, but fun loving people.
Yeah, backward complete reverse message. Actually, that would be actually really, really funny if that were true. You
More
never
sketch
know.
comedy coming soon. We're already writing it,
Yeah,
right?
right.
That fuck, that is good scene, and I don't even like chocolate cake, but just like that rectangle cake from that era, we all remember those.
The
Those
sheet, the sheet
cakes.
cake. Yeah.
Yeah, the tea cake or the t-shirt cake,
Oh, I forgot about
Rainbow
that one.
Bright, Care Bears, bowling alleys, and roller skating rinks. But so like Adam Sandler, like a little older than me, definitely, but like this is like the era where, oh yeah, this is like the punk rock. And the fact that he gets to live in hell. He's not like super stoked on it, but like he was definitely able to play death metal, and everybody like was like cool with that. They're like, at least he likes that shit.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
flower, this flower smelling spawn of Satan. So you've been listening to Mystic Mamas, Shelly, Miriah. We've been talking about, if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about Little Nicky, the movie. So we like to dissect some movies, look at the symbolism. We're big fans of this cult comedy, and yeah, it's just when you start looking at symbolism and you go back, and this is the same people that love looking into symbolism love the same type of movies. Like y'all liked Alice in Wonderland, y'all liked Wizard of Oz, y'all read books about dragons. We all, we have, and you may or may not have loved death metal, but probably if you like Adam Sandler movies. But so we're just like bringing it all together, and I mean all these titles of these bands at this time too: Judas Priest, Motorhead, Pantera, Incubus, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. I mean, it goes on and on. I just picked some of these because they were the T-shirts and the posters that I saw in the background of this movie, Little Nicky, and some of the best. It's a great soundtrack. If you haven't, it's 11:11 where I live right now. Just want to do some numerology. Love bringing into the Black Sabbath and Happy Sabbath. Anyway, this is like when we were doing this. Speaking of Black Sabbath, so Ozzy Osbourne is in the movie Little Nicky. Speak of the devil,
Yeah.
and he also transforms, shapeshifts into a bat. Ozzy Osbourne is known to have taken a bat and just ripped its head off on stage, blood and all. And so even in Little Nicky, here he is, like he's the one that interacts with the Flash, flies away as a bat.
And he turns out being the good guy in the end.
Ozzy's always a
God's
good guy.
secret weapon. It was Scott. Ozzy Osbourne ended up being God's secret weapon in
The
this
Wizard
movie.
of Oz. So there's all these correlations a lot of time, and Ozzy can't talk no more because he is so this is his karma for him eating the bat. Like he can barely speak anymore. What he sounds like now
There's a lot of drug use in there. There's a lot. I think he's got Parkinson's too.
Probably. I love I love Ozzy. I love Ozzy. But it's man, this movie's so good. Like there's so much like intertwined into it. It's fabulous. But again, here's like Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath. So Saturday in the park. Think it was the 4th of July. Isn't that a Chicago song
And
that they were just playing? People
yeah,
already, so Saturday, which is the Sabbath, and here is Black Sabbath. Saturday in the park. The park. The park it well, Earth is the devil's playground. The park. Down at the park. I think it was the 4th of July. 4th of July is the 4th, 7-4. That is why we celebrate our independence on the 4th of July is 4/7, and I think it was the 4th of July. We all got sold. And 4/7 is a construct of the 4 elements only, and 7, the 7 chakras only. But there is the 5 elements we get to work with here on earth with our spiritual self and connection to the higher self. And we get to work with the number 8 and 9 with the other chakras and beyond that, not just 7. So 4 and 7 are limiting Solomon seals that this programming, this construct that we live in, keep us in the 4 and the 7. That's why we celebrate independence on the 4th of July. That's why they play Chicago backwards. It's all connected.
well, there's more to the scene because when Reese Witherspoon's character, the Nikki's mom, hands Nikki the secret weapon that ends up being Ozzy, she doesn't know, and it's just this, the white ball, the white orb. And if you look into Gnosticism, God is a glowing ball of light. So it makes sense that, the secret weapon that Ozzy ends up being is an orb from God.
Even in Wizard of Oz, the good witch Gwendolyn comes down in a pink orb, right?
Yep, yep.
And I really feel like the orb is our aura. Aura, A-U-R-A, right? The aura borealis, like because it is a plasma, you are able to see that 5th dimension. Our aura is that 5th dimension. And so there is this play, the spirituality within. And me and Nova and Matthew talked a lot about this Poppy's Field Project, where the numbers matter because of the sacred geometry or the construct or limitations. You can work with the 4, 7, they're great numbers, but we're also the 5. That's that pentagram. 5 is that 5th element. That's why the anarchy, that's our own pentagram inside the circle, inside. Oh, without that square, though, without those sharp angles. Angle is the anarchy part. So the fact that anybody living in hell, why couldn't their mother be an angel? Because the angels are fallen, and we're just in between. So the incubus we were talking about before we skip over that, incubus is a succubus, but that's the male version. Where the incubus or the succubus, they are the demons that come and have sex with you while you're sleeping, or they can also be the sleep paralysis demons. I know about these beings, especially the incubus. I have scratches for incubuses. I have incubuses. Yes, when even if you do heavy drugs and you have a sleep paralysis demon, they are doing things to your body while you can't move. I don't know. Have you ever had an experience like that, Shelly?
Yep. I
Incubus?
used to get sleep paralysis
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
sucks.
Yep.
And this is
Although
what
I
this is.
although I do think some of the sleep paralysis is um you astrally projecting and coming back to your body too fast, faster than what your body can accept. Because when you're asleep, your body is basically paralyzed. Like you're still, like, just so you don't, like, you know, thrash and flail and I don't know, sleepwalk. Although I do sleepwalk. I used to have a sleepwalking problem. Well, that's it's sleep
Me
talking,
too.
but I've held full blown conversations with people, like coherent conversations with people in my sleep. So I don't know how I did that. Um,
Being able to
but
tap into, and to me, that's astral projecting, sleepwalking is.
but when you're
It
asleep, your
can,
body is
it can
supposed to
be
be paralyzed
right, but it
because
can be
so
you moving your body.
when
It
you're
can be something else moving your body.
yeah, so when you're dreaming and stuff, you're not actually acting out what you're dreaming. That's why you become. I think what happens is like you, uh, sometimes you just like hit too fast, you come back too fast, and you come back too fast through your body. So your body's still asleep and you are awake. So when you hit your butt back into your body, you're like, oh shit, I can't move. I do think that some of what sleep paralysis is I mean, there are entities too, and then there's like, I mean, like, I I hate to say that, I can't really say that everything is spiritual, but I do think it mostly is spiritual to some degree. Even if it's just like completely physical, it does have a spiritual component because we are spiritual beings.
Absolutely, it could be. Oh, hopefully I'm not. Can you hear me? Okay, see. And sometimes it can actually be for real, like your subconscious mind, your own demons paralyzing you. Um, when I've experienced it through different variations in my life, where as a kid I would have it because I was just really connected to the like spiritual realms already, and it was hard to explain to anybody else at that time. And then when I was like heavily medicating myself, um, I feel like I would wake up and my body could not, because it was out. Even though at that time I could feel like a demon or like a shadow person, but shadow is like can be definitely yourself. But there are entities, of course. It was lurking. It was always lurking. And so I would be sleeping and I knew I was awake and I could not wake up my body. And in my dream, I was always trying to take my mouth and open it up and scream for help for a long time.
Yeah, I have
Something
dreams
was like
where
on my chest, right?
I have dreams.
Crazy.
I have dreams where I'm trying to scream and nothing is coming out, but that's definitely a psychological thing.
Beetlejuice, it always reminded me of the one scene where they're trying to
Oh yeah.
she stretches out her face. I was trying to do that. I wanted to do that. And it lasted a long time and it was like fucking scary. But when you can overcome that kind of stuff, like, I mean, I have scratches on my arms from, I call them demon scratches, where they won't go away either. They are like, they're a different element that scratched me. They will not, I'd wake up, I had to move away from this cabin I was living in because it kept happening and I lived alone. I had a little dog, but she slept so far away from me. I'm like, something was scratching me. Wasn't paralyzing me, but it was hurting me physically, trying to scare me. So you can be affected physically too, because there's that morph between the five elements. If your aura can be seen, especially, or if it's easy to attack, these entities that can come in, materialize like these genies and stuff, these incubus, they can interact with you because of that fifth element that we have, that ether, and they are coming from the ether. And
Well, you
so
know that
there's many different
you know
yeah.
in the movie they're all telepathic, and especially with the two brothers getting inside of Nicky's head and making him to do stuff, and I mean they're possessing their own brother in this movie, which is kind of fucked up,
Well,
but
and I've been and is Nikki the baby? Usually that it's either the baby or the middle one.
yeah.
So I'm the middle child of two boys though. So there's
I'm the youngest, so it's
but the
like kind of
youngest
good.
also gets like
Yeah.
certain type of treatment, almost abuse. I saw that with my younger brother. Rest in peace, Luke as well. Fuck.
Usually the
Um,
odd one out.
right, luckily we're all like the at first I was like, we're all the black sheep of the family. Then I was like, none of us are even sheep. What the like we're all weird in different ways, which is great. And
Yeah,
so
my whole family is like that too.
so in the movie Little Nicky, the these bozos aren't his brothers, they're his sidekicks, a little bit more like Bebop and Rocksteady. In this movie, his brothers are Adrian and I wanted to say Mufasa, but Cassius Othello. Um and so these guys are his sidekick, but they're his like friends on Earth, right? They're his like shepherds here on Earth. And they
You
they
can
serve
see,
a
like,
certain purpose.
think of them as like the metalhead apostles. Some
Yeah.
super like metalhead like like not demon but like metalhead apostles of hell. But the thing is, little Nicky is half angel, so it's like, are they really all that into the
Like
like
Jay and Silent Bob and Dogma, again, it's almost like they're the prophets bringing in like the story, but they're bringing the good and the evil
yeah
together.
prophets? Yeah, prophets. Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter Dante, I always forget, obviously Dante. He's in a lot of Adam Sandler movies, and he always plays kind of that same character. But again, I will always say this in any of my podcasts. Anything I say, it's the hero's journey. With the hero's journey, it is a commedia dell'arte. The Italiane, the Romans, there's always the stock characters. So when you have this storyline going, um, to me, these two guys are Bebop and Rocksteady. Like on the Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? There's Bebop and Rocksteady. They obviously look sort of like uh vets, from Nom. But they're metalheads, and so they're serving like this certain genre. But like in Bebop Rocksteady, they're the sidekicks on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so one poster that's right behind a Pantera t-shirt wearing guy is blow up, blow up. And so we were just talking about Incubus, right? And one of my I went to Incubus, my brother Luke. Pardon me while I burst into flames. Anyway, I'm not a good singer. I'm just trying to sing the lyrics. To like show you there's a reason that they made they put these songs and these bands in this movie. I don't know, what do you think about
I'm trying to remember what scene that was for.
Well, it's like when everybody bursts into flames. And then we have him waking up not in a field of poppies, but in a field of flowers up in heaven to go see Reese Witherspoon. What a great actress to play.
AKA mom.
Yeah, exactly. An angelic mom, um, and then we see Chubbs here again from Happy Gilmore. So this is definitely Adam Sandler putting in his stamps, putting in his cameos, kind of like a wink to every of his other pieces of work of art, which I like to do, and which I'm glad that other people do that. You should. You should. So if you're a movie buff, the fact like that's why we see Quentin Tarantino in here. We see like the little um scenarios that are like the other scenarios in his other movies, or the why Harvey is in all these gangster movies. Like we're just looking at like all the similarities. So Chubbs is the he obviously died in Happy Gilmore, if you watched Happy Gilmore. And so he should be in heaven. He's already in heaven, but now he has both his hands and he's a mambo dance instructor because it's all in the hips. Happy Gilmore, he was a golf coach. And so it's all in the hips. So they're bringing in some of like these same lines, bringing in some beautiful humor and same lines from the other movies. And I think that's like what a great artist and director, producer should do. I would have all my crew in all my movies, and like, and again, that's a long form even of like comedy and improv comedy where you're bringing all that stuff in, and that's what all this mythology, this astrology, these same characters coming in, it's taking a little bit from the past and remixing it like a good DJ would, and like bringing it into a new story where, but there's something coming from other places where it's mixing it into like a new soup. It's cinema soup. It's great. I rambled on there for a moment.
You know,
Yeah, I want Reese Witherspoon to be my angelic mom.
yeah, I like that, Nikki's both, demon and an angel, because I think at the end of the movie what you walk away with is like nobody is completely evil, or and like everybody has the capacity for good, even the devil himself.
Well, and how boring would it be if just like your parents were both angels or both demons?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. I
yourself.
mean, look at
We're
his two
both.
brothers, you know.
And
But
that's both sides of your spirit, that's both sides of your souls. We have free will here. We're supposed to bring heaven and hell here on earth. Have a little fun.
well, even the demons in hell in this movie, like they are even bad either. They're not even all evil. They're just there doing their jobs, and
Super
like they're all
jolly. Oh
falling
my
in love with
god.
each other and stuff. And yeah, it's like, you
Rodney
know,
Dangerfield as Lucifer. I mean, Lucifer is
yeah,
usually like the hey, like more the enlightened one, right?
yeah.
But good looking, devilish characters, like never hurt no one. And so especially during this time, like a lot of these artists are like, yo, do some shadow fucking work. 2012 is right around the corner. And it was. It's already passed. And 13 years, here we are later. So during that time, I decided to go to hell. 2011, 2012, I was in it. I was deep in hell. I was down there. I was like getting raped by that big black bird that we see in the movie Little Nicky, because at the beginning we have oh my god, what's the actor's name right now? Sitting in the tree.
Oh God, I can see him, and it begins with an L, like his last name, I think,
Oh, love
is
it.
an L.
Uh
Yeah, John Lovett.
I love it. So he's sitting in
Yeah,
the tree, like watching some beautiful lady take off her clothes. And so he gets shot to hell and gets to get raped by because he's pretending to be a big bird in the tree.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so it
Peeping
goes around,
Tom.
goes
This is the
around.
Peeping Tom.
And not that I was a bad person, but I wanted to learn what hell was so I could like try to bring some heaven here on earth. Not the bullshit heaven, not the bullshit dogma that we've talked about a lot, right? We're trying to break down the dogma itself. Speaking of dogma, even in this movie, they have the priest, the pope, This one's wearing red and gold. And they always have the fish head, the Dogon, the Dogon, the fish god. This morphication from the deep waters into mankind with the wand, with the basket. But yeah, a lot of symbolism here.
Oh,
Church scene.
trying to think. Yeah, that here we go. Here's that church scene. I can find it. It's
Again, this
in
is
here.
in 2000. So right after Dogma 2, like people are like starting to really question and go against like dogma religion and start losing ourselves so that we can like find because two different sides are like, well, what has he done for me? Like, well, really, like the Lord did this for me. Like, oh, really? What he hasn't done anything but give me grief. And so there's this, especially at that time, the split between like God is dead. Sorry, that was like it's silent, but
Well, well, there were people in the congregation that were saying, all this good stuff is happening to me, and he's up there saying, yeah, right. No, it's all bad. That all that good stuff, no, it's really bad. Like
well,
I know the truth.
I think even at that time, I was like doing that, like questioning. So I had to go through all this confirmation. I was like hungover the day I was confirmed. But I was like asking questions at least. And that was important. I think it was super important to ask these questions, but it made people maybe go extremely one way. It's always the fish head too. I mean, even on his gown, the priest, he has the zodiac. It basically has astrology. He has the Celtic um wheel, but it's also another symbol for Solomon's seal. You have that pitch fork, right?
Well, it's also the wheel of the seasons.
It's always the zodiac.
Yeah.
And so that's where also you see that pitchfork. And then
Yep.
and really the fish part, the fish god, it's coming out of the primordial waters of the cosmos, but also of the earth and of the so there's a lot of symbolism there beyond it just being like dolphin fuckers. And maybe nobody else in the fucking world would actually look at it that way, but maybe I did it just now. But there could be something to that as well, being it from Syrian. It could be Orion. There could be correlation there from like which constellation or star sees, if that's all the thing. So there could be like so much more going on. There's always again here we so our last episode we talked about dogma and the Black Pope was George Carlin and he was wearing black and red. And now we have this priest, he's wearing the red and the gold. So the colors, sorry, these being crazy. The colors matter. And these are colors of Saturn for sure. But even on his robe, he has that same logo that I have there, right? Of the seasons of Solomon's seal. It is the wheel. It's the wheel of life. But it's always the fish head with the tails. With the tails. Because there's usually sometimes the fish god is depicted as having one leg human, one leg fish, or having split legs, same as the mermaid with the two split legs, and that's Starbucks logo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like really interesting. I love that they always put it in here. And obviously, look at the back of this Pope. We have the 6-pointed star. We have Solomon's seal right on the back of of the Pope's fish head. So they know. They know. So they call it what? Also David's star. So I mean, these movies are definitely made by the Jewish Hollywood people. So there's always this play on the Christianity. There's always a Pope in it, and I love them for it. Makes them good. It's good because they're always playing against these two religions that are
Well,
all about the different, like either a cross or the X.
have you watched You Don't Mess with the Zohan with
Yeah.
it was an Adam Sandler movie. And
Yes.
that, you know, it was it's similar. It's like a similar theme when you really think about it, because in that
Yeah.
movie, at the end of the day, you got an Israeli intelligence officer, or you got this Mossad guy that doesn't want to be in the Mossad, and you got this Palestinian terrorist that doesn't even want to fucking do it. All they want to do is live their lives, and they both have passions they have nothing to do with military or war or anything. One guy wants to sell shoes, the other guy wants to cut hair, and all they want to do is just like basically just do their like live their passions and live happily ever after.
Don't we
And I
all?
mean, it's a basic concept in this movie too.
Yeah, don't we all? Um, I often think about atmosphere hip hop from the Midwest, Minneapolis, but um, one of the lyrics from Trying to Find a Balance is, once we all realize to respect the cock, whether or not you believe in it. Respect the cock, whether or not you believe in it. And the cock, that could be the clock. The clock. The clock. Cockle-doo-doo-doo. The clock will always keep turning. The wheel will always keep turning. The wheel will keep turning. Whether or not you believe in it. As above, so below, as without, so within. Whether or not you believe in it, it will still tick. It will still turn. I think that's the message there.
Yep.
That's why we have the Crusader cross. We have the Star of David. The Pope. Oh, we also got probably some Egyptian starships on the back here of it. We got the zodiac. So even within Christianity, they are representing all the different flavors of faith, because that's what it's all about. And so respect the clock, whether or
Well,
not you believe in it.
it's not even just the Star of David. It's also it's the Merkaba star too.
Exactly, which is which is a tetrahedron that is
Yeah.
even a saint, Melchizedek's. Right?
Yes, it's a 2D version of it.
So speaking of the Pope, what about Popeye? Popeye's chicken. It is all over in this movie. Coke versus Pepsi, Diet Coke, and Popeye. Poppy is.
It is not
Popeye
this,
is.
isn't it? I will tell you that.
The Popeye, right? The Popeye.
Yeah, I think Popeyes is overrated. I think it has any flavor.
I'm from the north of it. Not a lot of Popeyes. Not a lot of
Yeah,
Popes either.
here.
More Lutheran reverends and more Culvers
Oh,
and
we got plenty of Catholic. I live across the street from a Catholic church now. You got plenty of Catholics in New York State.
do they have church on Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday?
Um, yep.
Oh, that was really echo way. Yeah, Popeye's chicken. He's got it all over in this movie, and to me, it had like the one eye Illuminati. But the one eye too is like your third eye. Popeye's chicken, the Pope, because we were just talking about the Pope, right? Into the eye, the Pope, yes. Like if you just start looking at these words, and why wouldn't the devilish people like fried chicken?
Well,
Everybody likes fried chicken.
but you can also tie in like the whole Popeye thing, like Popeye the Sailor Man. I mean, when Popeye ate his spinach, he became big and strong. He could fight, fight off all the bad guys, and
Christopher
that's
Columbus
basically.
was a Jewish sailor. Hello.
But that's basically what Nicky is doing in this movie. He's eating Popeyes to like sustain himself to get the strength to fight off fight his brothers.
Yeah, he needs some Popeye, Popeye chicken. He's also wearing winter clothes and gloves all the time because he's from hell and it's so cold on Earth because it's not hot like he's used to. But I'm sure he gets a fire flame, Popeye chicken.
Well, yeah, you saw that in the Pope scene that he had to what was it standing on top of a fucking pizza or something like that because he's so cold. He's got to like stand on something hot.
Spawn is Satan. So cold. He's so
Oh,
cool. He's
and
cold. He's so cool. He's cold.
and the one guy had his feet wrapped in tinfoil to keep the heat in, or was it tinfoil? His feet were wrapped in.
Oh, tinfoil hat. It's the shiz
Yeah.
niz. It could be shy, nai, like Sinai, one eye, Popeye,
Well, wasn't this like?
Sinai, one eye. Do you see the lyric? They
But
rhyme.
was this was like the time? This was like right when Snoop Dogg's feet was really blown up in popular culture. Like
What did you
everybody was
say?
start everybody was starting to talk like Snoop Dogg around this time, like because Snoop Dogg came on the scene in the '90s, or early '90s, and then he blew
Wow,
up
wow,
and
wow.
he became a cultural figure. He became really popular in the culture, and everybody
Wow,
started
wow,
picking up on
wow.
the way he talks.
Wow,
So
wow, wow.
yeah.
Let's go, yippee yay, wow, wow, wow. And so there's always a dog in these movies too that have anything to do with spirituality and or a cat, which makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, Snoop Dogg, he's a sigh. Oh, like he's obviously from the Dog Star. He's serious.
Well, the dog in this movie, you could like hellhound, Cerberus, that kind of. It makes sense that his guide is a dog from hell.
Well, it's called Mr. Beefy, right? And Beefy
Yeah, Mr.
is
Beefy.
cow, and so that gets Taurus. So I always like think of like these constellations in their stories. Mr. Beefy,
I mean, it is a
Taurus.
bulldog, so
Yeah, it's a bulldog. I had a bulldog. It
beefy
was like
bulldog.
he was super beefy. He was super beefy. I don't know, and maybe we're like looking too long, but I think that that shy eye, one eye, Sinai, like, well, like once you start looking at the etymology and what words look and sound like, fuck the English language because it is part of that fallen angel Enochian language anyway, and the calendars and languages have been morphed for many, 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 many years. So for anybody to say that's not a word or you can't say the word, I just did. It's the only thing you have to tell them. Okay, word police. I sit on my castle and all I'm doing is pointing out things that look and sound similar. Isn't that what phonics is all about? Phonetic? The Phoenician way.
Hooked on phonics worked for
Work for
me.
me. When you go against it, people are like, what? I was taught
What was
Phoenix, Phoenician language, Enochian. It all sounds the same. So that's why I'm always talking like that. If anybody's wondering, I look at etymology, the original roots of where some of these words come from, so that we can actually look at like the meaning and why they're being used. They're being used for a reason, and it's awesome. If anything.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, we can go back into the whole. Somebody said the word resonance, the resonance of different words. Even and like they're just the vibration of saying the same word in different
Frequency.
ways with different intention. It's just like even the same word can have different effects.
And if the word means something to you, don't let somebody tell you what the word means to them, to you. You know, you can
Yep.
claim a word, use it as you will, like, and how you pronounce it, and yeah, the frequency of the deliverance of it. That's why when I hear certain accents from the north, I know it's like a certain latitude. I'm like, got to be from one of the northern states or Canada almost because of the resonance of the A's and the O's
Yeah.
or something
Well,
like
yeah.
that.
Well, right
It's
where I am
beautiful.
in New York, where I am in New York, I'm only like 5 hours away from Montreal, and there's a lot of
A's and
cross.
O's.
Yeah, we get a lot of Canadians here, but we've got like pocket where I am. It's like Canadian, like Pennsylvania Dutch. So you got a little bit of that Pennsylvania Dutch accent, Amish. And then you got a little bit of New York City in there mixed in. Like I have a little bit of a like, especially when I'm tired or really get like angry or just really fired up. I get a little bit of a New York City accent, just because I spent so much time in my life around people from New York City and Long Island. So because it's like because we're so close to New York City, there's a lot of like cross traffic, but it's like far enough where people are like, it's
But it's part of your DNA at this point. So like
yeah.
when you get your own body in a certain frequency, you start resonating with how you speak. Same here. Like I get all like reservation North Dakota, or I could get old life pirate Welsh guy, all over the place. Oh, and I've never lived in New York, but I have a lot of friends from New York. Then all of a sudden, sometimes they'll say "door." Like what? I don't see that in Central North parts of the world, but like it can. You start to kind of develop slang, stuff like that. Beautiful. This has been really fun.
Yeah, we
I don't know
should
if you
end
want
this
to.
on a video.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. And thanks everybody, like Mystic Mamas. This is our third episode.
Yep.
We are part of like an online network of podcasters, researchers, artists, collaborators, Anarchist Collective, also AM Wake Up. We got the New Prisoners, Poppy's Field Project, all sorts of collaborations here, and I look forward to doing more.
There's a lot going
There's a lot
on.
going on. Yeah, so me and Shelly wanted to bring in some more of the mystic part of all of this. We got a lot of boys with guns, and which is cool, but there needs to be balance. We're trying to balance out the feminine and masculine in this world, and
Yeah.
we're movie buffs, and so this has been really, really, yeah, really fun. Yeah, not
How about
we're stacking up on ideas already. I like the next show.
yeah.
So.
We okay, so I think we should end this out on this is a difficult decision. Hmm. How about the Hitler scene? Here we go.
Yes, please, and this is how you know.